Hi everyone. Welcome back to American Wisdom Hub. Today, we're diving into a powerful American proverb: when the going gets tough, the tough get going. You've probably heard this quote before, but have you ever seen what it truly looks like in real life? To bring this saying to life, I want to share with you a real, emotional, and inspiring story. It's about a young man named Ethan, an ordinary guy from a small town who faced incredible challenges. But instead of giving up, he chose to rise. Let us discover how his journey became the true meaning behind this timeless wisdom. In the quiet town of Willow Creek, nestled in the shadow of pine-covered hills, lived a young man named Ethan. He wasn't rich, or famous, or born with special advantages. What he had, though, was a dream and the kind of heart that never gave up. From the time he was a boy, Ethan was drawn to running. Not just for sport, but for the freedom it gave him. When he ran, the world fell away. His thoughts became clear. The path ahead, no matter how steep or long, felt like something he could conquer. His dream was to become a professional marathon runner. While other kids spent their evenings glued to screens or playing games, Ethan was out on the road, rain or shine, heat or frost, pushing himself further every day. He had no coach, no fancy shoes, and often ran with sneakers held together by tape. But what he lacked in equipment, he made up for with raw determination. At 22, Ethan finally qualified for the state marathon. It was the biggest moment of his life so far. He trained harder than ever, following online routines, waking before sunrise, running up the steepest trails of Willow Creek. On the morning of the race, the sun beat down like fire. Temperatures soared. But Ethan felt ready. As the starting pistol fired, he surged forward with confidence, pacing himself beside athletes far more experienced. For the first 15 miles, he felt like he belonged. But then, the trouble started. A cramp twisted through his side. His vision began to blur. He hadn't realized just how much water his body needed. By mile 20, his legs felt like lead. He pushed through, stumbling toward the finish line. He crossed it but collapsed immediately, unconscious. When he awoke in the medical tent, N4 in his arm, a doctor gently explained, "You were severely dehydrated. You're lucky you made it." The days that followed were dark. Ethan couldn't look at his running shoes without feeling shame. He failed not in the race, but in preparing properly. He questioned whether he was really cut out for the sport. Maybe he wasn't strong enough. Then, one afternoon, while sitting with his grandfather, the old man turned to him and said, "Ethan, you know the saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. That's you. You don't stop because it's hard. You push through because it's hard." Those words settled deep in Ethan's heart. He realized he'd made a mistake, but not an end. It was a lesson. And he would use it. He began again. This time, smarter. He read everything he could about hydration, recovery, and training cycles. He invested in better gear with the little money he had, picked up part-time work to afford it, and adjusted his entire lifestyle around becoming not just a good runner but a great one. He joined an online community of endurance athletes and reached out to local runners who offered guidance. Slowly, race by race, Ethan rebuilt his confidence. He placed top 10 in regional events. Then top 5. Each finish line brought back a piece of his belief. 2 years after his collapse, he qualified for the National Marathon Championship. It was a monumental achievement. Standing among elite runners from across the country, Ethan didn't feel intimidated anymore. He had earned his place there. In the weeks leading up to the race, he trained with military precision. Every meal was planned, every step timed. He visualized the course each night before bed, replaying it in his mind like a movie. When race day arrived, the skies were overcast, a cool breeze brushing the streets. Perfect running weather. As the race began, Ethan found his rhythm early. He didn't sprint. He paced. He hydrated. He stuck to the plan. 1 mile at a time. At mile 23, he found himself shoulder to shoulder with one of the nation's top runners. The crowd was roaring. Pain screamed through his legs, but his mind was silent. Focused. And then, something clicked. He remembered Willow Creek. The quiet mornings. The hills. The moment he fell and the decision to rise. He pushed forward. Every muscle burned. But his spirit didn't waver. He crossed the finish line ahead by mere seconds. The world seemed to pause. Then cheers erupted. Ethan fell to his knees, overwhelmed with emotion. Not because he won but because he proven to himself that he could. Not just as a runner, but as someone who didn't quit when life got hard. The medal he received that day now hangs in the Willow Creek Community Center, next to a photo of him holding it up, drenched in sweat and tears. But to Ethan, the real victory wasn't captured in a picture or a trophy. It was in every early morning he ran when no one was watching. Every time he got up when he wanted to give up. Every step he took after he fell. Because in the end, that's what the proverb meant all along: when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And Ethan was living proof.